So this is a progressed chart for a friend of mine that had a mystical experience, appearing to be contact from beyond, and she had messaged me January 19th that it was her dead friend's birthday, and their music was, music was their favorite thing. And she was dropping her girls off with her mom and walked into a store, and her absolutely favorite song was playing. She says, like, I noticed it instantly, like, stopped to make sure I wasn't hearing things. And it was Patsy Cline's Walking After Midnight. So, you know, uh, for her, that was just really mind blowing. And she told me about it, knowing that I would do my thing here. So, this is her progress chart where all of her planets are now, or on January 19th. Um, and inside in black are those progressed planetary energies, and on the outside are the transits going in this direction unless they are retrograde. And of course, they go this direction along with the nodes of fate. So, the most amazing thing to see very first in her progressed chart is Patsy and Klein and Venus all sitting here on her Uranus. Now, Venus is people and things we care about, and Uranus is unexpected and the key to the higher mind, and they're exactly opposite his last name, and it is his exact last name, Asteroid. These are making a connection here to her palace, her third eye, to one of the three asteroids I use for her, this one ending in Munt, to Neptune, which, rules that woo woo, and to Eris Discord for positive changes. Uh, Neptune here rules her 12th house, Gemini, which is our siblings and childhood friends and communications. Her Mercury is in the 12th house, conjunct Orpheus, haunting melodies. Um, her Chiron is here. She's a 12th house progressed sun now and hitting a pretty critical time for her. It's almost at 29 degrees. Um, and when we talk about these 29 degrees, her sun, the sun in transit, was trying to her progressed 12th house sun. Um, almost exactly at the time that it happened, and it's almost conjunct to Pluto, which does rule death and the magic, the contact from beyond, soul contracts, and that connects to her here, her ninth house spiritual path. She has her progressed moon and Juno conjunct here in Pisces, which of course is ruled by Neptune, and the moon is your intuition, her part of fortune, and her name ending in en here are conjunct here 29 and 0. Uh, here in Aries, the self. She is a Aries sun natally and has Mars in the first house and a Taurus rising. So then she has connecting that to her, all that's connecting to her progressed sun, her ascendant and descendant axis here, or 28, 24. Um, so connecting as well. Her sun being in conjunct her descendant axis, um, other people. Chaos is actually retrograde. I didn't put the RX there. Is almost back to even zero. It's getting really close, I think. Yeah, and it's making it in conjunct to Pluto now. And oh, let's see. But it's conjunct to her Mars here, which I said does rule her Aries sun. So let's see what else we have. Her name in transit here. It's the one that's absolutely closest to her name is at 044, opposite her part of fortune, and her name here, connecting to all the rest of the purples. So some bigness going on there. Jupiter, spiritual protection, and our beliefs and philosophies, and that rules her ninth house Moon and Juno soul contracts and Angel here uh, is making a quincunx 5 signs to Nyx, and Nyx is the mother of chaos, the goddess that created all from the void. So, another in conjunct here, and that makes a sextile to Angel here. And Angel is opposite Orpheus, the haunting melodies, in transit here, so that's connecting to his name Covert in her first house, ruled by, or in Cancer, which is ruled by that moon and Juno, so soul contracts. And Cancer, of course, is your intuition. Let's see, then we have, well, for one, her progressed palace here, the third eye, and such is opposite transit Uranus. And transit Uranus had just, see, it went direct right about that time it was stationing to go direct. I don't remember the exact date now. So extra powerful Uranus energy, and we already know that his last name was opposite Uranus with Patsy Cline and Venus on it. So Uranus was also making connection to the nodes, the North Node path going this way in herself, South Node path where we've been, a friend of hers that had passed on, and Uranus was connecting to her Jupiter, and making a square here to her angel, making a trine to her name, and in conjunct to her Saturn here in Sagittarius. Uh, Saturn being, part of our life lessons and her beliefs and philosophies. And her, Jupiter is that spiritual protection. She has a very heavy eighth house with Uranus and I think Neptune and um, some other things heavy in her eighth house, and she's experienced a lot of heavy eighth house. She has a Pluto and Scorpio also. His name ending in Han here is also on her Saturn. Saying hello, wake up. Opposite her Chiron here, her woundings. Losing him was a really big deal. Her kids even called him uncle. Um, so, Uranus making a quincunx, that karmic timing to his name on her Saturn here. Opposite her Pallas, nodes. Oh, and then we have transiting Juno at 2145 and Nyx retrograde at 2034, so heading back that way. And also connecting to her progressed Cline opposite her name here and making all the sweet connections even to her Jupiter with the North Node having crossed over it or about to cross over it. There we go. So there's that. Alrighty, then we have transiting Chiron at 15 degrees 42 minutes. It's just about at her Eris discord now in her progressed, and it's also making an inconjunct to her vertex, Destiny's Gateway. The moon would have been crossing over it that day as well. And I had another thought and I lost it. Hang on. It's always hard doing this because there's so many matchups. The more I put in, the more confused I get. But I can put even more in. It's kind of crazy. But so yeah, her vertex making that in conjunct to Chiron wounding. And of course, her Chiron is opposite her Saturn with his name here on it. Um, let's see, his name in her progressed chart is at 311. The one ending in Han, his name here ending in Deng. Uh, these would be his nicknames, and they connect to her Venus, her progressed Venus here, in the 11th house that is ruled by Uranus in Aquarius. And of course, in Aquarius, she has this angel. So let's see. Spirit here she has at 9 degrees 6 minutes, is connecting to her south node past and her north node future into her name month here. So Spirit Square, her month. All right, and also her Patsy's very close to that, 11.5 degrees. And Patsy, in her progress chart, does all kind of cool stuff. Her progress Patsy connects to her progress chaos, and chaos is literally chaos, and it's also connection to your cosmic creativity and things beyond. Uh, those connect to her midheaven here in Pisces and her icy emotional foundation here in Virgo. Keep telling her she's here to be a healer. She's still finding her way. His name covert here in transit 1154, making that karmic inconjunct to her emotional foundation here in her roots, her past history with him. And Patsy was making a square to that as well. And Mars, ruler of her sun, and of course her first house, Mars, making a positive trine there and a sextile to her midheaven. So let's see, and then that inconjunct to her chaos. Inconjunct 1, 2, 3, 4 trine to her chaos. All right, trying to count too fast in my head. So yeah, I kind of skipped over his name here in transit. Also, the dang making a connection to his names and to her Venus, people and things she values. Her, it's very special to her. At 5 degrees here, we have her name ending in en in transit with Saturn in the middle in Pisces, and it's in the middle with Spirit. At 5 degrees, it's very close to this 6-degree Jupiter that is coming opposite her Pluto soon. Might be now. It's getting real close. Anyway, so what else do we have? Just all kind of just amazing things to see it all matching up. And, who would have thought good old Patsy Cline? And I happen to know that there were asteroids for these because Walking After Midnight's one of my favorite songs. I sent her a picture of me singing karaoke the one and only time I did, singing the exact same song. So, yeah, just a little glance into how I chart, not just for myself, but for other people when they say, hey, this happened. And I look to see what shows up in the charts. So, here it is.